Alrighty, thank you all for your patience. My name is Paul Palan. I'm the product educator here at DMF Lighting. Today, I'm going to be going over our C-Series family of downlights and cylinders with you all. So the C-Series is one of our newer product families that was launched February of 2025 at this point. So it's a really good balance between performance and affordability. It's a very simple and sort of straightforward product family with no real footnotes on the spec sheet. So it's a really sort of fast spec cycle on this product. Really good for areas that need fewer options, but still really high performance, high quality downlighting and cylinders. This product family was also really the initiation of what is now DMF LightSpeed. So this is a way to help you identify directly on our cut sheets what is available essentially as a quick ship program. So these product SKUs are all able to be delivered in, or rather shipped within 72 hours or less. So that's really good for any projects that, of course, need fixtures in a very timely manner for one reason or the other. The other part of the family that's really great is that, as with any DMF product, the installation and serviceability is very quick and efficient. So you're able to get these fixtures on the job installed and able to be serviced throughout the life of the fixture as well. So we'll look at a couple of the unique features that were brought to the C-Series family that helped to make that even more streamlined process. But just real quickly, looking at the family as a whole, for the downlights, the recessed fixtures, we have a 4 and 6 inch variety for this particular family. So that's a 4 and 6 inch housing and trim. The module itself is going to stay the same. It's available in a wide flood, sort of general ambient beam spread. So it's going to be very sort of forgiving and easy to use in terms of your layouts to get decent coverage and not have to worry too much about getting too specific and accurate with where the fixtures are. So you get very good coverage with that really wide beam spread that comes from the fixture. We have 2 different trim finishes that are available for this family, and it is a wet listed and NSF listed fixture. We'll talk about the trims as well. These are actually natively a dead front trim, so good for some of those dead front areas of the country as well. So that's a nice benefit. Starting off with the housings for the fixture family are pretty straightforward. If any of you are familiar with our M-Series commercial family, similar in that this is a non-IC fixture family. So it's an open frame with our DMF bar hangers. So these come with screws pre-installed on the bar hangers. Those bar hangers are also pre-installed on these butterfly brackets. So you have the butterfly brackets if you want to do anything like conduit, steel bar, C-channel, any of those types of more sort of commercial mounting types in especially any sort of drop ceilings. But then the bar hangers are pre-installed there if you're doing any typical wood, metal joist, anything like that. So a lot of flexibility with how you mount these housings. The rest of the housing has our junction box off to the side. So this is just the junction box. There's no drivers or anything within the junction box here. It's just your 5 wires for your line voltage plus the 0 to 10 volt wires. Off of that junction box, we have a conduit and cap that goes to our module, and then the module and trim are all held in place through the aperture of the fixture. So this is one of the 4-inch housings and trims, all sort of assembled together so you can see it as one complete unit. But the housing itself obviously is going to give you a lot of flexibility, and those 2 different sizes are going to give you the 2 different apertures that you have to choose from. In addition to the standard new construction housing, which are the 2 that you see on the left of the screen, we also have an emergency version of this as well. So that emergency version has an integrated backup battery along with that UL transfer switch. So that's going to give you 90 minutes of uninterrupted power in an emergency state. One thing to just take note of, that is 5 watts of supplied power. So for anybody doing calculations or engineers out there, just be sure to take the efficacy of the product, the lumens per watt, and multiply that by 5 to get your lumen output in an emergency state for that particular battery. Moving on to The modules, so the modules again are really the heart of any light fixture here at DMF, and no different with the C series, of course. So the C series module shares that same embedded driver design along with the LED module and everything. We have two different versions here that we'll get into in a second, but there's a flexible lumen and a static lumen option. Both of these have a 5% 0 to 10 volt dimming driver, again, embedded right within the module itself. It has, and they all feature that 6-pin Molex connector, so it's a quick connect installation, no wire nuts or anything to connect the module into the housing itself. It's an 80 plus CRI module, so a little bit more efficient in terms of the lumens per watt that you'll get out of this particular module, and it's available in 3 different static color temperatures, so 3000, 3500, and 4000. Once again, this is a wide flood, like 90 plus degree beam spread on this particular fixture family. So that is going to be something that's specified directly with the module. You'll see it in the module part code. For those lumen output options, this fixture family ranges from 1000 to 2000 lumens. So we have 3 different steps there, 1000, 1500, and 2000. We have a flexible lumen option, which you see on the left of your screen there, which has this orange switch in the back. So you can set that switch anywhere, again, between those 3 different settings just by switching it right on the back. We do also have the same module in a locked out or a static version. So it'll look quite identical, except in the back is totally physically locked out. It's pre-programmed here at the factory. And then there's just a blank cover in that position rather than a switch. So these are great for those areas or those projects that don't need the full 2000 lumens and need to meet maybe some more tight LPD requirements. You can get that static lumen option in the preset lumen output and not have to worry about that on site. Another really great feature, this is a new feature for our modules here at DMF, is that C-Series modules have our emergency bypass port built into every single module. So if you're familiar again with maybe some of our other emergency products, if you go with the emergency housing, you need a specific module that works exactly with that housing, and then a normal module for any normal housings. This is not the case with C-Series. You can have one module that fulfills the entirety of the project, one SKU. And for any housings that do use the emergency feature or have the emergency battery, you simply lift up on this cover. And in the back of the module here, you have this 2-pin port. So you have your normal connection for your line voltage and 0 to 10 volt dimming, any normal operation. And then that 2-pin port is for that emergency battery connection. So it's a really great feature. You don't have to worry about more SKUs. It's less complicated in the ordering. And of course, on the job site, things can move that much more quickly. So nice feature that we've seen introduced here with the C-Series module that will hopefully expand out into future product iterations as well. The trims that are available for the C-Series, again, we have our 4- and 6-inch varieties. We have 2 finishes here. We have the semi-specular and a white finish. So the white, very namely, is of course just white. That matches one thing that is really nice about our trims here, and I'm going to grab one additional trim off to the side. Is that the proportions of these trims are really exactly the same as our M-Series modules. So when you look at those two side by side, you have a very nice aesthetic match in terms of the proportions, the sizing. So it's quite hard to tell the difference between our M-Series and our C-Series modules. So if you do have a project that needs maybe some more spec grade options, optics, things like that, you can use your M-Series in areas of the project that need that and use a C-Series in areas that don't, but still have a relatively consistent look overall. The same goes for our semi-specular finish. So we have this, of course, in both the 4- and 6-inch sizes, and this is the clear diffuse finish for our M-Series. So you can see the finish itself really matches again really nicely. These trims for the C-Series, I mentioned earlier, are made of an engineered polycarbonate material. So That's a nice benefit in that they're innately a dead front trim. So if you have those specific areas of the country where, wet areas, shower rooms, things like that need a dead front trim, this will meet that requirement. So really good benefit in that way. The trims also really contain the integrated mixing chamber. So there's a reflector and then diffusion lens right on the front of the trim. The modules all ship with this protective cap on the front. So when it comes time to install, you simply take that cap off. The LED is exposed out there, so you do want to keep that covered as long as possible, maybe retain those caps if you think you might need them in the future. But then the trims themselves have these two clips on the side that snap into place and that hold the module and everything together. From there, the trims have, again, those torsion springs. So these are what are going to hold it all into the housing. So given the weight and size of the module, those torsion springs are going to give us the most secure attachment and are also, of course, going to accommodate any differences in our ceiling thicknesses as well. Finally, just taking a look at the overall assembly. We saw one of the 4-inch assemblies earlier, but those two are sort of in these line drawings rather are included in the spec sheet. So you can see the 6-inch size does have a proportionately larger or taller cone within the trim. So it does take up a little more space in the plenum, 4.5 inches just about for that 6-inch size versus 3.5 for our 4-inch size. And just to note, this is for standard 5/8-inch drywall. If you do have a thicker drywall or a thicker ceiling material, it will come down a little bit in that overall height in the plenum by the additional thickness of the drywall. Last but not least, as with all of the recessed families that we have in the lineup at DMF, we have a complementing cylinder family for the C-Series as well. So the C-Series cylinders, again, pretty straightforward and all fall within that LightSpeed shipping time frame, which is really great. You can get those options out to the job site really quickly. We have an 8-inch body length and available in this one pendant mount option. So both standard black and white finishes. We have a cord mount that is an 8-foot field cuttable cord. As with all of our cylinder families here, we're utilizing the same exact module on the inside. So this same C-Series module is what fits exactly within the cylinder. So the great benefit there is that the driver and everything is all within the cylinder. You don't have to worry about hiding the driver in a remote canopy somewhere. So our canopies, because of that, remain very slim and low profile. So we have our standard mounting plate that's going to go to any of your standard junction boxes, whether it's a 3.0 or a 4.0 junction box in the ceiling, and then a magnetic cover that is going to cover that up and give you a no hardware cover up against the ceiling. So we just have the standard 120 volt, or rather the line voltage and 0 to 10 volt wires that go down to our cylinder with the driver and everything on the inside. So that pendant mount, again, is available in the 8-foot field cuttable cord. And then we do have 2 different stem mount options as well. So the stem mounts come in either a 24-inch or 48-inch rigid stem. So places where you need more, obviously rigidity or some of that more sort of stable mounting options, these will work. These are earthquake rated for places like California, or seismically rated, I should say. And do tilt up to 35 degrees if you have like a pitch ceiling or something. Just to note that these stem mounts are threaded here at the factory and they are the support for the fixture. So these are not going to be field modifiable. So if you do the stem mount, you have that set 24-inch or 48-inch height for those stems. So just keep that in mind. With that wraps up all of the different products and everything that I have to look at with you for our C-Series family. Again, it's a really great versatile family that can fit into a number of projects that need a lower cost option for still high quality performance and commercial grade downlight. If anybody has any additional questions, things that they want to see, please drop those in the Q&A or raise your hand. You can try to address those. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us, and I'll see you again next week.